All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're taking a look at the legislative heart of one of Pakistan's most important provinces. We're talking about the Provincial Assembly of Sindh. We're going to break down everything, from its history to its pretty incredible powers.
So it really all starts with this one big question. I mean, Sindh is massive. We're talking about a province with tens of millions of people. How on earth do you manage all of that? Well, the answer lies with a single, very powerful legislative body.
And this is the number that makes it all happen, 168. That's it. That's the total number of members in the Provincial Assembly of Sindh. This one group of people is in charge of making the laws, controlling the money, and keeping the government in check for the entire province.
So what is it exactly? Well, officially, the Provincial Assembly of Sindh is a unicameral legislature. And all that fancy word means is that it has a single chamber, one single group of people making decisions. Its home base is in the provincial capital, Karachi, and it gets its authority straight from Article 106 of the Constitution of Pakistan.
But you know, to really get what this assembly is all about today, we've got to take a quick trip back in time. Its roots are seriously tied to the history of the entire region.
Let's hit three key moments. First, way back in 1936, after a really long struggle, Sindh was finally separated from the Bombay Presidency and got its very own legislative assembly. It was a huge deal. Then, fast forward to 1942, and the iconic building it still uses today was officially opened. And finally, after a lot of political changes in the country, the body was formally re-established in 1971 as the Provincial Assembly that we know now. Okay, so we've got the building and the history. But who are these 168 people who actually get to sit in those seats? Let's take a look at what it takes to become a member of the Provincial Assembly, or an MPA.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. It's not just a free-for-all for those 168 seats. You see, 130 of them are general seats, filled by direct elections. But the Constitution itself sets aside reserved seats to make sure different voices are heard. 29 seats are specifically for women, and another 9 are for non-Muslims. The whole idea here is to build a legislature that's more inclusive and actually representative of the population.
And the rules for who can be a member are super specific. To even get in the running, you have to be a citizen of Pakistan, be at least 25, and be a registered voter in Sindh. And on the flip side, the reasons you can be disqualified are just as clear-cut. You can be removed for things like being declared of unsound mind or convicted of certain crimes. So yeah, there are some pretty strict rules for both getting in and for staying in.
All right, now we get to the most important part. What does the Assembly actually do? Well, its entire job really boils down to three key powers, and these three powers shape life right across the province. And here they are. First, making laws. This is their number one job, creating and changing laws on any provincial issue that isn't specifically reserved for the national government. Second, managing the purse. The Assembly controls every single penny of the province's finances. And third, checking the government. It acts as a watchdog, making sure the chief minister and their cabinet are held accountable.
Let's just zoom in on that managing the purse power for a second. Every bit of provincial revenue goes into one big central account, the Provincial Consolidated Fund. And here's the crucial part. Not a single rupee can be spent from this fund without the Assembly signing off on it in the annual budget. They are the ultimate financial gatekeeper.
And if you want to understand just how serious that watchdog role is, you just have to read this one line, straight from the Constitution itself. The cabinet shall be collectively responsible to the Provincial Assembly. That's not a suggestion, folks. It's a constitutional command. It means the chief minister and their whole team serve at the pleasure of the Assembly. So with all that authority, you might be thinking this Assembly is unstoppable, right? Well, not so fast. The whole system is actually designed with some really important checks and balances to make sure that power doesn't get out of hand.
And here's some of those key limits. For starters, the Assembly can't just make laws about anything it wants. Federal matters like defense or currency are off limits. It absolutely cannot pass a law that violates the fundamental rights guaranteed in the Constitution or any laws that go against the injunctions of Islam. Its power can even be put on pause during a national emergency. And to make sure it's actually doing its job, it's required to meet for at least 70 days every single year.
Which brings us right back to the big picture. You have 168 representatives, a very clear set of three core powers, and a whole framework of constitutional limits. It's a complex balance, a political machine designed to govern millions of people. And so, the ultimate question is, how well is this system really working in practice?